Hello everyone, welcome to the second to last day of the MTG Advent Calendar. Today is the 29th of December and we only have two boosters left, so let's open the 2021 booster right here. Let's make a quick check to see that everything is correct. Alright, let's open this then. Hopefully it will be quick and easy. Okay, yeah, it's looking quick and easy. There we go. What's today's card? It's, a foil one. Elite Spellbinder. Ooh. Okay, for 2 and a white mana, a 3/1 creature with flying. When Elite Spellbinder enters the battlefield, look at target opponent's hand. You may exile a non-land card from it. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it, and a spell cast this way costs 2 more to cast. Okay, so this is a way to disable key pieces from your opponents. Ooh, look at that shoot. It's so shiny. And the background too. Is this like... I mean, it looks like it's in space. It's reminding me of Infinity. Yeah, it looks very science fiction. Science fiction, sorry. Very nice. I see he has an orb here, but I don't know what this is. It's part of the original creature. Ooh. Very nice, yeah, and the spiral galaxies here in the background. So it's like it's coming out of a rift in space. Very nice. This style has a name, right? I think I've seen it before, but I don't know the name. Okay. Very nice. So, let's leave this in the background for a while. And let me tell you something, these days, some of them I've had trouble finding something interesting to talk about. Maybe I didn't have a lot of cards for that year, or I wasn't playing at the time, so I didn't have an interesting anecdote. But today I have the opposite problem. I have so many cool cards that I love from 2021, and I don't know which ones to pick, but worry not, okay, I've come up with something. I'm going to show you the commanders that I have decks for. I have like 10 or 11 of them, so I won't get into a lot of details, okay? I'll just give you an overview of each of them. And let's start with these 5 guys. 5 monocolor commanders, 1 for each color. There we go. And... Well, actually, I will give you some context first. Let me tell you how I build decks. My general rule is that I try to make decks that are similar to precons. My playgroup is pretty casual, and we are only 3 people, so we enjoy when there is a lot of variance. So for my decks, I choose a commander, obviously, and then I choose a main theme and a secondary theme. In most cases, both themes synergize, but that's not always the case. It depends on the cards I have, because I don't go out of my way to buy staples or expensive stuff. I also avoid tutors, because I end up fetching the same cards always, and it's very boring. And I also avoid combos, and I don't have anything against them. It's just that I prefer when they are really convoluted, like 3 or 4 cards minimum. So with that in mind, these are my monocolor commanders. I built them to be lower power, so I could lend them to people and have somewhat balanced matches. The white one is Odric, Lunar Marshal, and he grants all your creatures all the combat abilities from your other creatures, so the deck is full of things with multiple abilities. Creatures like Zetalpa and Danitha Kapashen. The sub-theme is a little bit of control to help set up the board. This one is probably the weakest of the bunch, so I have to improve it a little bit when I get some free time. Then the blue deck is Carix, the Raging Isle. I actually showed this card in a previous video. So Carix is a little bit harder to kill with spells, and then you can pay 3 to give it plus X minus X, where X is the number of islands you control. This is a Voltron deck actually. It's full of equipment, and the sub-theme is sea monsters and sphinxes, which is odd, but it's pretty fun. And I usually do better with those than with the Voltron, honestly. Then there is the black deck with Sir Conrad the Grim, and I love this guy. He pings all your opponents when a creature enters or leaves your battlefield, and then you can pay 1 and a black to make everyone mill 1 card. The deck themes are Life Drain and Reanimate, so this one is pretty straightforward. The red deck is Kumano, Master Yamabushi. So he can ping anything for 1 and a red, and it exiles anything it kills. This deck is all about direct damage. There are several cards that can increase the damage or double it. And the sub-theme is Dragons, which synergizes better than it sounds actually. And finally the green deck is Toski, Bearer of Secrets. This is a landfall deck with a +1/+1 counter sub-theme. This one is probably a little bit better than the rest. And it's just because of Toski, because he's indestructible, he cannot be countered, and he draws you a lot of cards, so it's easy to run away with the game with him. But still, it's a pretty fun deck, but I will probably change the commander at some point. Then, apart from these 5, I have another monocolor deck, and it's this one, Light-Paws, Emperor's Voice. The Light-Paws says whenever you cast an aura, you fetch another aura from your library, and you put it on her. So you get a free aura with each aura. I've only played her twice because she hits fast and hits hard. And she's also difficult to interact with because the auras give her indestructible and hexproof and stuff. So yeah, there's also some control in the deck which doesn't help making the games fun. So yeah, I almost never play her, but I have a deck for her. And these are the monocolor decks. Now let's move on to the multicolor decks. The first one is Hamza, Guardian of Harashin. This deck is one of my newest ones, and it's great fun. Hamza costs 1 less to cast for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. And then when it's in play, it grants that ability to all your creatures. So the deck is full of small creatures that come into play with counters. And then there are some big creatures that take advantage of the cost reduction. So there are some mid-tier Eldrazi, for example. This deck can make some explosive plays, but it's pretty quick to board wipes. So it has some protection against that too. I also have Satoru Umezawa. And don't worry, okay, I don't have a Blightsteel Colossus or crap like that. I don't even have Eldrazi in here. He can ninjutsu in anything. So I've tried to make the deck fair. There is a bunch of ninjas and creatures with cool ETBs and combat damage abilities and triggers. There's also a graveyard stealing sub-theme. And yeah, a little bit of mill to help with that. But yeah, with this guy, you always win at having the coolest commander. I love the art in this card. Then there is Joira of the Gitu. And I love Joira. She's one of my favorite characters. She lets you pay 2 mana to suspend any spell in your hand. And the deck is just full of big, dumb creatures. And it's very junky and a very slow deck. The power level of this deck is pretty low. But still, I have great fun with it nonetheless. Then next is Proba of the Steel Legion with Kidel, Chosen of Krufix. And this is a really fragile tokens deck. I need to improve it at some point. I don't even play Kidel, she's just there for the colors, for the color identity. This deck is really good at making tokens, but that's about it. It doesn't do much with the tokens after that, except losing, I guess. And then there is Godzilla, King of the Monsters. And I love its effect. It makes your creatures... it makes them take their power into account for lethal damage. So the deck is full of creatures with high power, or power matter cards, and creatures that can pump their own power. And there's also some Voltron-y stuff in there too, for good measure. And it's just great to see a board full of elves and wizards and zombies and these fantasy creatures, and suddenly you drop Godzilla on them. it's so dumb, but I love it, and I love this deck. It's really, really fun. And up next is Hinata, Downcrowned. I love Hinata. Okay, and I had been looking for a commander like her for a long while. Like I was looking for a commander that cares about X spells, and for quite a while, for a couple of years. And when I saw her in Kamigawa, Neon Dynasty, perfect, this is exactly what I was looking for. But I almost never play this deck. And you know what she does. Let's move on. Arcades, the strategist. Arcades? I don't know, my friends just call him Arcadas. But yeah, I got him from a booster that a friend got me for my birthday. And I fell in love with him immediately. with Arcades, I mean. He lets walls attack, and then draws you cards. So, yeah, it's perfect. There is nothing funnier than hitting your enemies with walls. This is probably my third favorite deck. And yeah, it's full of walls, obviously, and there are also several janky toughness matters cards. Yeah, really fun, and it flies and has vigilance also, so it's good at attacking and at blocking. And oh look, it's Carador. Well, actually, it's Carador and Cathril. Cathrildor for short. Carador is the main commander of the deck, but he's there as a value engine. Cathril is in the 99, and getting her out and about is one of the main win cons. The deck is actually built with both of them in mind. So most cards are creatures that have both combat abilities for Cathril and ETB and death triggers for Carador. This is actually one of my oldest decks. I have changed it a lot over the years, and it's a bit slow and grindy, but yeah, also weak to graveyard hate. But yeah, I just love playing this thing. I don't play it that often nowadays because I have newer decks, but still, yeah, my second favorite deck probably. And then I have Kes, Dissident Mage. She's Carador, but for spells and flies. I actually built this deck pretty recently, just a few months ago, I believe. And I usually play more creature-heavy decks, and I wanted to change that a little bit. I'm actually having a lot of fun with this deck. I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. There are several cards that copy other spells, and then there are big game-ending spells. Things like Crackle with Power and Cruel Ultimatum and so on. I actually need to tune this deck a little bit, because right now it's trying to do too many things at once. There is Mill, there is big mana, there is graveyard shenanigans, and there are few creatures. So it's hard to set up a board and survive long enough to do anything. But yeah, great commander. And finally, my best deck, the first Sliver deck. I talked a little bit about this one the other day, so I'll just give you a few more details. This is actually a purely thematic deck. There are 37 lands and 63 slivers, and that's it. The power level of this deck comes just from the sheer synergy of the slivers. And yeah, still this deck is pretty infamous in my playgroup, but it's not that good really. If you remove the commander, it cannot do much, you know. It's also pretty brainless decks. Pretty brainless deck. Sorry, you just plop the slivers down and cascade. So yeah, but I love the randomness so much, and I get to see many different slivers each game. So that's just great. It's exactly what I want from this deck. And yeah, that's it. This is probably the longest video of the bunch, but hey, one of them had to get the record. So join me again tomorrow for the final booster, the 2022 booster, and let's see what we get there. Bye bye.